The snap-tight assembly system locks end channels to all sheets without the need for tools or fasteners. To assemble each panel, the perimeter channels are secured to the top and bottom of each sheet. Gently tap the channel over the snap-tight lugs and work your way along the sheet. Each channel should be fit to the center of each sheet. Simply tap the channel along until it's aligned.
We will start with the rear panel. For this step, you will need two 81F channels and two PPB sheets. Lay out the two sheets and overlap them by one rib. Make sure the edge holes are facing outwards. Use two 10mm self-tapping screws at the overlap to secure the sheets together. Take the 81F channel and attach to the top of the sheeting using the snap-tight method. Please ensure the short side of the channel goes to the outside of the sheet. Repeat with the other 81F channel on the bottom of the sheet. Let's make the lid panel. For this panel, you will need two 88C lips, two 81E channels and two PPA sheets. Lay out the sheets and overlap by one rib. Please ensure the ends of the sheeting are flush with each other. Fasten the sheets together at the overlap with 5 10mm self-tapping screws. Attach the 81E channel to the top of the sheet using the snap-tight method. Repeat for the bottom of the sheeting with another 81E channel. Take an 88C lip and slide the short face under the top and bottom channels on one side of the sheeting. Secure the lip to the sheet with 3 10mm self-tapping screws. Repeat this process for the other side of the panel with the remaining 88C lip. Flip the panel over and lay out the following parts: two 94D jambs on the sides, a 22C plate up the top, and a 94C jamb along the bottom. Join these components at the aligned pre-punched holes with 10mm self-tapping screws. Before continuing, make sure the lid bracing sits 80mm from the top channel of the panel. Use the supplied 3mm drill bit to drill through the lower pre-punched holes into the sheeting. Secure bracing to the sheet with self-tapping screws from the underside of the panel. Align a pad bolt to the plate on the bracing and place 50mm off-center. Drill through the holes in the pad bolt into the plate, then secure with 4 10mm self-tapping screws. Flip the panel back over and fill any remaining holes in the sheeting. Now, we need to assemble the right panel. This panel will need a PPR sheet, a PPD sheet, 81N channel, and an 81E channel. Lay out and overlap the sheets by one rib, taking note of the angled top edge of the sheet. Ensure they are aligned correctly. Fasten the sheets together with two 10mm self-tapping screws at the overlap. Using the snap-tight method, attach the 81N channel to the angled top edge of the sheeting. Repeat with the 81E channel at the bottom of the sheeting. Next, we will build the left panel. For this step, you will need a PPG sheet, a PPL sheet, 81N channel, and an 81E channel. Lay out and overlap the sheets by one rib. Please take note of the angled edges on the sheets and align correctly. Once aligned, fasten the sheets together with two 10mm self-tapping screws at the overlap. Take the 81N channel and attach to the angled top edge of the sheeting. Repeat for the straight bottom edge of the sheeting with the 81E channel. Next, we will assemble the front panel. You will need a PPF sheet, a 94A jamb, a 94B jamb, a 53B channel, 57A channel, 90C jamb, and a 79C channel. Begin with the 94A jamb and align it to the sheeting. Ensure the jamb has the wider face on top and is placed next to the narrow pan in the sheeting. Fasten the jamb to the sheeting with two 10mm self-tapping screws in the centermost pre-punched holes. Leave the outer holes in the jamb clear. Take the 53B channel and attach to the bottom of the sheeting using the snap-tight method. Ensure one end of the channel is flush with the far edge of the sheeting and allow the rest to overhang. The channels should slot into the cutouts in the 94A jamb. Repeat process for the 57A top channel. Next, fit a 90C jamb into the top channel with the shorter side facing up. Slide the cutout of the 90C jamb onto the 94A jamb. Fasten with 5 10mm self-tapping screws, 2 of which from the underside. Slot a 79C channel inside with the short side of the 79C channel sitting on top. Fasten the channels together with 5 10mm self-tapping screws. Ensure 2 of those screws are fastened from the underside. Take a 94B jamb and align it to the end of the top and bottom channel. Switch to the 20mm screws for this step. Place jamb on the underside of the top and bottom channels and fasten with 2 20mm self-tapping screws. Next, let's make the door panel. For this step, you will need a PPC sheet, 258C channel, a 64A channel, a 64B channel and a 91A jamb. Align the 64A channel to the right side of the sheeting. The 20mm face of the channel goes to the top. Repeat for the 64B channel on the left side of the sheeting. Ensure the 20mm face of the channel is facing up. Fasten each channel to the sheeting with 3 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 58C channels and attach to the top and bottom of the sheeting using the snap-tight method. Please ensure the short side of the channels are facing the top and it slots over the top of the side channels. Pre-drill each corner of the panel, then secure with 10mm self-tapping screws. Flip the panel over and align the 91A brace to the diagonal holes in the sheeting. Fasten the 2 outermost aligned holes from the underside to secure the bracing. While the panel is flipped, pre-drill then secure each corner with a self-tapping screw. Now, flip the panel back over and fasten the remaining diagonal holes to secure the bracing. Move to the sets of hinge holes in the side channel. Use the supplied 3mm drill bit to widen these holes to assist with pop riveting. Align the hinge to the holes and ensure the bump of the hinge is facing away from the panel. Secure to the channel with 3 pop rivets. Repeat this for the lower second hinge. Place the door plate midway down the door on the opposite side of the hinges. Use the 2 end holes as a template to drill into the sheeting. Use 2 10mm self-tapping screws to secure to the panel. Bring in the front panel and place the door in an open position, allowing the hinges to line up with the sets of hinge holes in the front panel jamb. Widen the holes in the jamb and fasten the hinges on the door to the front panel with 3 pop rivets. Time for the final assembly. Prop up the rear panel and bring in the right panel. Slot the top and bottom channels together on both panels. Align the pre-punched edge holes and fasten with 4 10mm self-tapping screws. Repeat for the left side panel. Take note of the angled top edge of the side panels and ensure they slope downwards. Attach a 64C channel to the front edge of the left panel. Place it on the inside of the sheeting. Secure the parts together from the outside with 4 10mm self-tapping screws. Align the front panel to the side panels and slot the top and bottom channels together. Fasten the front and right panel together with 4 self-tapping screws. Switch to 20mm self-tapping screws when securing the left and front panels together. You may need to pre-drill through the pre-punched holes into the 64C channel on the left side panel. Ensure the shed is square before continuing. Take 4 88D corner braces and align to the corners of the shed. Use the holes in the corner braces to drill new holes into the top channels, then fasten with 10mm self-tapping screws. Take 2 more hinges and align to the sets of hinge holes on the top of the rear wall. Widen the hinge holes with the supplied 3mm drill bit. Ensure the middle bump of the hinge is facing up. Place the lid panel on the top of the shed, making sure the lips rest outside of the side panels. Widen the hinge holes in the lid panel. Flip the free side of the rear panel hinges up and align with the hinge holes in the lid panel. Fasten with 3 pop rivets in each hinge. Align the pad bolt to the door plate pre-punched holes. Secure with 4 10mm self-tapping screws. Place the pad bolt hasp over the pad bolt shaft. Use as a template to drill 2 holes, then secure with 2 screws. The lid pad bolt should sit under the front wall channel to lock the roof into place.
Firstly, position the shed onto the slab, making sure the walls are squared up and it's centered. Take your angle brackets and lay them out in the positions as shown, spacing them equally along each wall. Using these brackets as a template, go around and carefully mark where the holes are on the slab and on the wall. Drill 3mm pilot holes in the wall centered on these marks. Now switch out to the 10mm drill bit and drill through these pilot holes. Next, take your hammer drill and insert the 10mm masonry drill bit. Drill down through the marks we made earlier. Be sure to go down deep enough for the height of the dynabolt. From the outside of the shed, take the 10mm bolt and poke it inside. You may need a friend to hold it there. Align the angle bracket with the bolt and then tighten the nut by hand. Tighten it further using the shifting spanner. Put the dynabolt through the bracket and into the hole in the slab. Tighten this nut on the dynabolt with the shifting spanner. Now that this has been done at all positions, the structure is anchored. Now the shed is complete, any leftover holes can be finished off with a screw.